In Haunt the House, 2 to 5 players are trying to scare ghost hunters so that they'll flee, leaving their gear behind. Let me show you how it all works. Have each player choose a ghost meeple, take the matching scare deck, and 1 random blue and red trophy tile. These items will count toward your endgame scoring. You're going to want to target rooms with these symbols. Shuffle the scare deck and draw 3 cards. Depending on player count, shuffle and place 3, 4, or 5 rooms face up in the middle. Keep the pile nearby. Ghost hunters, which I'll show in a moment, will be placed in the doorways. The room's ability is in the top right corner. Shuffle the ghost hunters, place 1 in each room's doorway, and keep the rest close. In the top left are items, usually gear, but sometimes skull tokens, which are worth points at the end of the game. At the bottom are the scare symbols. This is how you'll scare the hunters. Keep the skull tokens in Phantom deck within reach. Player 1 can take 2 actions, or yell boo. The actions are draw to 3 scare cards if you have 1 or no cards, play an invisible scare below the room tile, and play a visible scare above the room tile. Invisible scares don't need to match the hunter's requirements, so you can bluff your opponents, but matching scares do give you a skull token or phantom card during a successful boo. Visible scares must match a hunter's requirements and cannot go over the amount shown. Playing a visible scare lets you use the room ability, but does mean other players are closer to a successful boo. Yell boo when you think the visible and invisible scares, plus those in your hand, will scare the hunter. Reveal invisible scares first. Non-matching scares are returned to that player's discard pile. 1 or more matching scares get that player a skill token or phantom card. If it was a bad boo, meaning you didn't have enough to frighten the hunter, invisible scares are returned, and your turn is over. If it was a good boo, collect the ghost hunter card, return all scares to their owners, and draw a new room tile and ghost hunter. Discard any scares you don't want, then draw up to 3 cards. Don't draw cards after a successful boo. Once a player is their 4th ghost hunter, the end game is triggered. The other players have 1 last chance to boo or just pass. Add up the scores. Skill tokens and symbols are worth the value shown. Gear is worth points for each matching item in a set. 1 rope is 1 point, 2 maps are 4 points, 3 flashlights are 9 points, and so on. If you choose to take phantom cards, you can draw 2 and keep 1 during a boo if you had a matching invisible card, rather than taking a skull token. Phantoms have abilities that can be used during actions, don't count toward your hand limit, and can be worth points at the end. Match cards to scare 4 hunters, all the while keeping your opponent from doing the same, and get the most points. That's Haunt the House. Give yourself 90 minutes for your first game of Haunt the House. All of our other games, including a 4-player teaching game, have been around an hour. That includes when we play with all the expansions. This game supports up to 5, but even with the expansions, it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. The number of people that can eat at your table can play this. I agree with the 8 enough age recommendation on the box. Experienced 7-year-olds might be able to handle this, depending on reading and math skills. You might need to simplify the basic rules a bit more with younger gamers. A couple of games ago, Dad made the last boo, meaning all Mom and I could do is try to get 1 less boo ourselves. I'd already played a phantom on Mom to keep her from booing. Poor Mom. As soon as she realized she couldn't do anything, she was just like, no! I love the theme. Ghosts trying to scare people away? So fun. The art adds a lot to this, like an all-ages cartoon or comic. The rest of the components are really good. Thick boards and tokens and lots of cards. Cute custom meeples too. Some of the components are also glow in the dark. The icons and graphic design are excellent. I could probably go a month between plays and still pick it up quickly because things made sense. I really like sticking it to other people, but I know not everyone does. The designers are clever. They added a symbol in the corner of certain cards and rooms if you'd prefer to take this part out of your game. The Graveyard expansion doesn't add much complexity, but does add another choice. Some bluffing and some luck. I like it, but only recommend it once you're comfortable with the base game. The Darker Corners expansion adds more and more difficulty. Hunters in rooms, courage cards that cancel other players' scares, and more phantoms. This is for people looking for a bigger challenge. I don't like this game with 2 players, especially with the expansions. If that's your only option, don't use the take that parts. You're just hitting each other. Boring. It's okay with 3, but better with more people. Haunt the House's name, theme, and box art will look attractive on the store shelves. Families will pick it up and think, this looks fun. They'd be right. This is a really good game for people newer to games. With the full rules and expansions, it's also good for people like us who play around 40 or more games a month. The game changes as you play, and there's bluffing, set collection, press your luck, take that, and even some memory parts. Despite this, Haunt the House is easy to teach, learn, and play. Nice job!